What is up, guys? Welcome to another week, another episode 111 of Total Male Introspective, the TMI podcast. I am Joe.
I'm JC.
Do it, guys.
What's up, Jonesy?
Jonesy here. How's it going?
Let's try that again. I'm Joe.
I'm JC.
What's up, Jonesy?
How's it
Oh my
going?
god, you are the worst.
What?
I'm always last.
I don't know why you don't get that.
All right.
Oh
So,
my God.
episode 111, we've got some fun stuff in store for you. We got a surprise guest. Before we get to that, Twitter at the TMI Podcast, Facebook.com/the TMI Podcast, Instagram at total_male_introspective, and all of our stuff can be found at Linktree, linktr.ee/the TMI Podcast. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen if you're watching the video version of this. That has access to and links to all of the locations that are where you would find our podcast version, like iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, pretty much all of them. iHeartRadio, I think. We submitted to all of them. I'm pretty sure it went through on all of them. So, and I'm up to date. I figured it out. I'm up to date on the... My Google's talking to me. No, you're not on the show. You weren't invited. I got up to date. We have all the episodes updated, so go check out the other backlogged stuff. It's live. It's ready for listening. We are live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. That is so that you guys can join us, join the discussion, comment, complain, praise, whatever you want to go with.
Mostly complain, but it is what it is.
Mostly complain. Share your opinions. Share your thoughts.
Wait, are you kidding me? There's so much love in the comment section. I mean, I saw the adoring fans were screaming for my name last week, so I had to make an appearance on the show.
That is true. That was happening.
Yeah, we were like, "Where's the other guy?"
Hey, hey. At least I'm the other guy, and hey, where's the other black guy? You know, at least,
What other black guy?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you look like you got some new jewelry over there.
who, me?
Yeah, Joe.
I got my dad bracelet.
Oh.
And I've got my friendship bracelet from Layla. My daughter likes to make bracelets. And when your kid makes your bracelet, you freaking wear that shit.
I mean, that's just like when the baby hands you the phone. Oh, you answer. You answer.
Oh yeah.
And you when your little kid wants to have a tea party, you sit your ass down and have some tea.
Yep.
Exactly. And you spill some tea too.
Joe's daughter was actually doing his hair. when we were watching football. We were watching the Jets, and Joe's daughter was doing his hair. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's probably the most action that Joe saw during that football game.
Honestly, she was like, "Can I do your hair?" I was like, "That'll be soothing and it'll keep her quiet." So after watching the Jets get their asses handed to them for 60 minutes, I was like, "Yeah, go ahead, do my hair."
Why not?
Brushing my hair over and over again. She wasn't making a sound. I'm like, this works for me.
Oh man, was it 100 brushes, 100 strokes?
I don't know. She gave me some hair oil. She tried different styles. She's like, I'm gonna try like 5 different styles. I'm like, have at it, kid. Just don't stand between me and the screen. You can do whatever the hell you want to my hair.
Yeah, really.
At that point, we had switched back from the Jet game to the Giant game. I think Jonesy and I were both disgusted with our team's performances. We went, the Jets suck. Let's watch the Giants. And then Jones was like, turn this off.
Oh man,
such bad football. I mean,
I know exactly how you feel. The Cowboys were sucking life the other day. It was so bad that I left, and I don't know, a little miracle happened.
Oh,
at Jerry's World.
They handed you that game on a platter.
That's like rolling snake eyes at the craps table after putting $100 down on it. It's a 30-1 chance.
Oh, speaking of, did you see that? I sent out that I think I sent you guys an article. There was some dude who bet on the Falcons 35-1. He was like, he bet 35,000 to win 1,000. And the Cowboys came back and won, and so he lost $35,000. I was like, "Why would you do that?"
But if you have 35, I sent that to John, one of our past guests, often listener, and he's like, "If you have $35,000 to bet to win 1,000, then it's probably not a big deal."
Yeah, probably not a big deal. Yeah, you're probably right.
Like it's probably a guy that's got that kind of money, which we don't. One last thing I forgot to mention, Patreon, which no one pays us, but hey, if you want to throw us a couple bucks, patreon.com/the TMi podcast. Throw us 5, 10, 20 bucks.
35,000. It's all good.
35,000. That'll buy us some new microphones.
That would.
That'll buy us a whole damn studio.
That would be great.
So, Jones, you wanted to cover a couple things before we bring on our guest?
Yeah. Speaking of the NFL, apparently NPR is reporting, and a bunch of other news outlets has this, that the NFL had a bunch of coaches not wearing masks on the sideline, and so they were fined collectively over $1 million. And apparently there's more fines to be had because Monday night, I guess Pete Carroll wasn't wearing
Monday night was Sean Payton. Sean Payton you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, Sean Payton. Yes. I'm sorry. I was talking about Sean Payton, but Pete Carroll is one of them that got fined. And it was interesting because aren't those guys getting tested every single day? And if they are getting tested every single day, wouldn't they know? Do they still have to wear the masks? And the players aren't wearing masks. So I just wanted to throw it out there and be like, is it a PR stunt or is this real? Do they have to actually wear masks on the sideline?
It's a good question because honestly, if you look at Andy Reid with his Iron Man face shield, he's got it pulled up half the time anyway. So what is it really doing? And why isn't he getting fined? Technically, is that a mask because it's open on the bottom?
Right. Well, that was one of the things that I asked because as a teacher, I wanted my kids to be able to read my lips because it's very important because I teach special education. So it's important for them to see my lips, and they can't when through the mask. So actually I asked about the face shield, and my district told me no because it was open on the bottom. So I'm wondering, I guess different rules for different people and different situations.
Jonesy, why don't you put some duct tape underneath your mask and so that you can close it?
Well, actually, they said an alternative was I could wear the shield, but I still have to wear a mask underneath the shield. So it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, I guess the mask is more for your eyes. I mean, the shield is more for your eyes, and the mask is more for your mouth and nose to have, to be safe. But that's kind of where we're at right there. I would More, I would definitely put the shield. I mean, I would definitely put tape underneath the shield if I could.
I mean, I think getting COVID through your eye is probably the worst, or the second worst hole to get it through.
Yeah, probably second worst. Maybe
I've
even
seen-
third, depending
I've
on
seen
who
a
you
lot
are.
of people wearing both, and hey, that's effective. I'm sure. I'm sure that's like double bagging it. It's gonna work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna work out so well in 10 months for you.
I meant at the grocery store, JC.
Oh, I
Jeez.
was talking about the grocery store too.
Right.
Yeah. So man, this is gonna be such a fun show today. Like I love when we go off script and we don't really have a subject that we're gonna be chatting about. So these are gonna be the best conversations. And also I think you both owe me an apology because I went through the tapes and there was no way I cursed 6 times on that last episode.
It was the second to, it was 109, I think. or
Yeah,
108.
109, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you dropped the F-bomb a few half
A few
dozen.
times, but not as many times as Jonesy would like. I would still be considered a PG movie.
It was
Oh yeah.
it was
What
a
is
hard
that?
it was a hard 4. Maybe not 6, but it was a hard 4.
Yeah.
Was it under 10? Under 10 to still can be considered PG?
I think it's 7.
Okay.
Well, we got our ball rolling. We got the engine warmed up. What do you guys think? Maybe we should bring on our guest and start getting into some stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, a buddy of mine that I used to work with back in the day, Adam, he does a little bit go no go movie reviews, and I love them because him and I tend to be on the same page most of the time when it comes to movies and TV shows and that sort of thought process. And I wanted to get him on here because there's a few things going on in the entertainment world that need discussion. So I'm going to give you guys a quick 2-minute, one of Adam's 2-minute videos, 2-minute go no go review, so you have an idea of what he does on YouTube. He's trying to get his channel going. So you guys watch it and give him a follow if you can, if you want to. This is Adam's review of Tenet.
I want to start off by saying the thing I admire most about a new Christopher Nolan film is just that, is the fact that we refer to it as a new Christopher Nolan film. The man has managed to eventize his name. And now, aside from his game-changing Dark Knight trilogy, which I'm clearly a fan of, he has gotten to a point in his career where big, giant movie studios are handing him basically blank checks to make huge movies about crazy, original, mind-bending ideas. Ideas that focus on things like quantum physics, the complexities of dream theory psychology, the space-time continuum. I mean, come on. If any other person pitched these ideas to studios, the boards would laugh them out of the room. But with Nolan's track record, it's like, take my money, please, just take it. And Tenet is no different. It's loud, it's exciting, and it focuses on really thought-provoking theories, like Schrodinger's cat and the grandfather paradox. I have no problem admitting that for the first 40 minutes of this movie, I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I actually made it a point to focus on the action set pieces because I knew I wouldn't grasp the story on this first go-around. And on that point, I am happy to report the action was incredible. It was like a James Bond movie and a Mission Impossible movie passed through a Christopher Nolan Rubik's Cube. So as my brain started to slowly drip out of my ears just witnessing this spectacle, something really familiar started to happen. I started to understand what was going on. I forgot for a minute that I'm watching a Christopher Nolan film, and watching his movies, I'm usually lost in the dark in the beginning of it, but he winds up grabbing me by the hand and walking me through the ending explanations. Now don't get me wrong, I know I'll have to see it a few more times to really understand what I witnessed, but one thing is for sure, say what you want about Christopher Nolan, but nobody is doing what he's doing. For 2 hours and 30 minutes, I was sitting in my seat, completely glued to the screen, just captivated by what was going on. Whether I got it or not, it was a spectacle, and it was enjoyable, and it was exciting, and it was fresh, and I felt like I was just watching something new. And it's really hard in a world full of reboots and remakes and sequels and superheroes and all that stuff. So Christopher Nolan's films are an event. And I'm happy to report that this event was well worth it. It's definitely getting a go. Please see it on the biggest screen you possibly can see it on, if you can.
There he is. Adam from Go No Go Movie Reviews, and obviously from my old heyday of working at the Black Bear Kelly's World.
Yeah, the good old days, man. I miss that.
I remember you, but I remember much of those nights. So we wanted to bring Adam on to discuss specifically this one item that we're going to get to right away, and then we're going to
Right off the bat, huh?
Yeah, we might as well get right into it. And then we're going to trail off into some other things in the entertainment world and the future of what's going on involving COVID and movies and television and streaming. I always appreciate your opinion. I know Jonesy does. JC just met Adam 10 seconds ago, but I'm sure he'll appreciate his opinions as well. All right. So what we want to jump into is the thing that's been blowing up the internet. Hashtag cancel Netflix.
Especially on Twitter.
Hashtag cancel Netflix has been blowing up Twitter, social media, and it all comes down to this. Cuties. Cuties is a movie about 11-year-old girls that join a over-sexualized dance crew or start an over-sexualized dance crew, twerking, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to let you talk about it, Adam, and just give it a little intro and tell us your thoughts, because I know I agree with you, but people need to hear my opinion through other people's mouths sometimes on the show,
right?
A little variety.
No, I totally understand that. I'm actually glad that I heard the conversation between you and JC about dropping the F-bomb, because you cut my monologue in half, because there would have been a lot of F-bombs there. And also I wanted to say, when it comes to the bracelets, Joe's not lying. When a kid, I have 8 nieces and nephews, and within 7 months I'll have 9. And he's right. When they make you bracelets, you wear them. So,
I thought you were about to say you have 8 kids. I was like, damn, when did you start?
A very active teen years, I guess. No,
man, a lot of Power Rangers right there for you.
This actually blends pretty well into what we're talking about now, because the age of the girls that are in this movie, in Cuties, is the biggest problem of the movie. Like, I totally understand certain aspects of people defending the movie, because every time they defend it, they always say, well, first of all, did you see it? Did you see it? You can't say anything if you didn't see it. And I obviously didn't want to be on the other side of that argument saying, no, so I did. I watched the movie. And the problem with this movie was that they used 11-year-old girls to do all this stuff. If it was something like Precious, where Gabourey Sidibe was a full-grown adult who played a 14 or 15-year-old girl who's getting abused by her mother, that's a different story. But you're not using adults, people. You're using actual 11-year-old girls to pull off these things that are it's just completely unacceptable what they were doing in this movie.
I did what you did. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I went and Googled the clips, most controversial clips, and there was no shortage of them. There was multiple minutes of things happening that were just not okay. And I don't know if it's because I'm a parent of a young girls. Maybe I'm a little more sensitive. But then when I heard your rant, if you will, on it, I was like, no, okay, I'm not alone. This isn't crazy. That they really went overboard. And the director, I think she was the director. She said, I don't want to misquote the facts here, but I know she's the director. I don't know if she wrote it, but
we can't handle a lawsuit if you misquote her. Okay,
they're really going to come for us here, JC.
I'm pretty sure
they're going to try to empty out our Pantheon account.
Our Patreon. Wait, we got money in a Pantheon account? What's the numbers for that?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Once we're in Italy, we're good.
Just the fact that we're talking about Cuties right now, I'm pretty sure the FBI is listening to every one of us right now. So just
wait. So we all go deeper. So wait, is Cuties like a fictional story, or is it based on? Or is not okay? I thought this was
based off of the director's experiences watching certain things like this. So she fictionalized it. So this isn't like she was a Muslim born. Again, I don't want to misquote whatever, but I did read up. And another reason why I'm not saying her name is because I can't pronounce it, and I don't want people to think that I'm insulting her by mispronouncing it. I get where she's coming from with this movie. She said she grew up in a Muslim household, and it was very strict and it's very oppressive. And then she sees obviously what we do here in America, which we're basically the devil to half the world, and she was shocked by it. So her defense is that she wanted to raise awareness around this issue, but the counter argument to that is the one that I believe Joe may have posted it, the puppies one, where it's like, if you want to show people that killing puppies is wrong, you don't hold up a puppy's head and shoot it and be like, see, this is wrong. We need to raise awareness.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they did. That she wanted to raise awareness on the over-sexualization of our children, but she inherently over-sexualized the kids in her movie in order to get her point across, and that's just not okay.
Yeah, didn't one of the directors get arrested or something like that? Or child pornography?
That's another Netflix show that we were going to get to.
A different one.
So
that's another thing that's adding to this cancel Netflix movement is that these dominoes are starting to fall, and people are starting to be like, wait, when there's smoke, there's fire, and something's going on over here. Something's not okay.
Yeah, someone on another Netflix show. I don't remember which one it was. I could Google it right now. What was it?
Cheer. It's like a cheerleading show. One of the kids that was popular from it.
Yep. One of the lead actors, I believe, right? One of the lead actors was caught with inappropriate child.
To say the least.
Yeah, videos and pictures and stuff.
Soliciting child porn and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Fun stuff. So Netflix is on a roll. Netflix is on a roll. I know Adam's opinion of Cuties, and I know a lot of people have defended saying it's art, it's not real. But I know Adam's thought process on this is that you're still taking these kids and putting them on screen doing these things, whether it's actually real or not. And
it's very much real when you make them do it.
Exactly. And also, who's watching this movie? I mean, right. Because is it supposed to bring attention to the situation?
Right.
And inadvertently creating something for these predators to enjoy because it goes overboard to prove a point, and then who's sitting there watching it on repeat are these awful human beings that we're trying to rid the world of.
Because it is in fact a rated R movie. So this isn't like they want the young girls to stumble upon it and learn something. This is rated R, so this is for adults. And when they go, like Joe, the clips that you saw, and out of context, I can't even imagine what was going through your head, because I will be the first to admit that somewhere deep down in this movie, there's a powerful story to be told. In the first 30 to 40 minutes, I was like, oh no. It's like, I already made such a big deal about this poster. This movie really isn't that bad, and it's actually pretty powerful. I'm going to have to eat my words. And I have no problem eating crow when I know I'm wrong. But then you hit that 40-minute mark, and I spent half the movie like this. Like, I could not believe what I was watching. And that last dance that they keep publicizing was not the worst of it. There's more in that movie that totally dropped my jaw. And I was like, 11-year-old girls should not be doing this.
I saw a clip where one of the girls was taking a picture of herself.
It's one of them, yeah.
Nude. She actually took a picture of her crotch. You
uploaded it onto the internet?
Yeah, you watch an 11-year-old girl pull her pants down and take a picture of her genitals and post it online for people to see. Yeah. It was bad.
Wow. Can I tell you one of the most shocking scenes for me? Sure. If anyone who listens to this saw the movie, then there's no justifying this. There's a point where their mom and where her mother and her grandmother, I believe, sees the stuff that she's doing, and they think obviously she's possessed, and they need to have some sort of exorcism on her. So they're throwing holy water on this 11-year-old girl. Now the camera circles around her like Michael Bay style in Bad Boys 2, just circles around her for like three full rotations while they're throwing water on her, and she starts like twerking, and she starts like kind of giving them what they want when it comes to like getting the demons out. But she's doing it so violently, and there's barely any score. All you hear is her breathing, like and then she drops to her knees, and she's still twerking. So she's literally humping the floor in a puddle of water, absolutely drenched, soaking wet, humping the floor, breathing that heavy, and it lasted for about a minute and a half. I swear to God, I had to look around. Like, I knew I was alone in my house, but I had to look around and make sure nobody was looking through the windows. I was like, this is not okay. If I wasn't doing this for straight up research, I should have thrown my phone out the window. It was terrible.
What?
Shocking. Yeah, it was disgusting. It was 11 years old. Oh, and no, this is the best part. It wasn't even like she's in her underwear doing this. So it's not like she's in pajamas or she's in a full nightgown or she's even in jeans and a crop top or whatever. She's literally in her little 11-year-old underwear with like a tank top, so her belly's showing. She's in her underwear and she's humping the ground soaking wet. That's the stuff they won't show you, which is way too much. It was across the line, big time.
Wow.
This is just like opening like the floodgates, like for those perverts out there.
Bingo.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's doing.
Well, I'm looking at an article from the Hollywood Reporter, and it says saying that the controversy is actually luring viewers to the Netflix movie because of the controversy around it, and it's actually getting probably more viewership than it probably should because of the fact that we're all really talking about it.
I'm sure that that's always the case when it comes to things people are outraged about. But I'm actually not even upset about that. I'm not upset that I want as many people to see this as possible because I want them to see the evil. What I just hope that they do is that they use their money to send a message. I'm not saying even just to cancel your Netflix for the rest of your life. Just let them go a couple of months. Let whatever CEO is in charge of their bottom line get canned for that first couple of months. Just send a message being like, this ain't okay. We cannot have this. This can't be this kind of slippery slope because what's going to happen 10 years from now? And then you guys literally put on child porn and we're going to be like, oh, whatever, it's Netflix. I'm not getting rid of it. I love Stranger Things, you know?
Stranger Things is really good, though.
It is. It's my favorite. It's my favorite show. It's my favorite Netflix show. Of course. I get it.
Oh,
It is my favorite thing.
There's a lot of good Netflix shows, actually, but there's ways around it. But we're not going to talk about that live.
You're right.
The FBI's listening, remember?
But yeah, so like I'm just like I don't even know where to comment on this whole subject. It's just
it's tough.
I mean,
ask any question. Even if you want to be a pretend defender, just throw any lines out there. And as I've been doing a lot of research the last at least 12 to 13 days, I'm like a scorned lover. I'm like someone that just broke up with somebody. I'm like, I'm going to stalk his Instagram page and I'm going to read everything he says just to make sure, I research the hell out of this.
How many times did you drive past the director's house and just give it?
Well, considering she lives in France, I was definitely at the airport looking at the.
Oh yeah. So I remember. So wait, does this movie take place in the United States?
No.
No, it's French. It's in France, I believe.
Yeah, I believe is it dubbed or is it?
It is. They dubbed it. They dubbed it for this one.
It's dubbed.
Gotcha. Okay.
They know Netflix knows their users don't want to read, so they dub it.
Yeah.
So wait, what is the call to action that we're supposed what's the lesson that we're supposed to learn, and then how are we supposed to what's our next step after that?
Well, if I had to venture a guess, because right now I think a lot of the responses coming out is just to save her ass because she was chased off of social media from death threats and stuff, which I don't condone. She's definitely being demonized, and even if her intentions were in the right place, she's going to dig her feet in the ground and start saying things that sound better. So for her, if I had to venture a guess, she wants to shock people enough to raise awareness that things like TikTok, like Instagram, Facebook, like the dance moms and the toddlers and tiaras, that we are over-sexualizing our children and we need to save them and we need to stop all this madness. And I'm totally down with that message. I'm totally down with it. And in this movie, if you got a good editor and you chopped up this movie for a bunch of parts, you could have given this message beautifully. But she in turn did exactly what she's fighting against, and that's not a way to get your story across.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
So is it is she putting a limelight on the parents of these?
No,
okay.
Don't get me wrong. She definitely touches on the oppressive nature of her household, an absentee father, a mother that is stuck in a situation that she doesn't want to be in. It's in the Muslim culture, the husband could have multiple wives. The mother is a part of a marriage where the husband takes on another wife, and then the second wife moves in, and she acts all fine and good because this is our culture, this is what we do. And then in her private moments, she's crying, and the little girl, the main star, is under the bed, seeing this, witnessing it, being like, "This is not going to be my life. I'm not going to be this oppressed woman who can't follow her dreams and do what she wants." And I totally get that. But with that, she joins this dance troupe, but she is the one that brings in, you guys want to win. Because when they first start, the dancing is regular pop stuff, like popping and locking and stuff. But when she starts researching these twerking groups and she brings in the craziness of it all, and then they all start doing it. So the problem with the problem I have most is there's one scene in this movie where they are all standing on these stairs next to a train station, and there's literally they're one up from each other, so you can see each one of them beautifully. They're not dancing to each other. They're not watching the TikTok and trying to mimic it. They're staring right into the camera, all of them, with their fingers in their mouth, and they're they're rolling their bodies and they're bending over and slapping each other in the ass while staring into breaking the fourth wall to stare into the camera. There's no defending that. It's like, who's this for? It's an 18+ movie. Children can't watch this. Mothers will obviously set their TVs on fire. So who are you making this movie for real?
Yeah. Wow, it's all doom and gloom.
Sorry.
But it is an important subject. So that's why I wanted to bring
definitely.
you on to talk about it, because
I appreciate that.
You definitely articulated it properly in the day and age of cancel culture, because who knows, you could attack that and then you're getting attacked and canceled for
attacking it.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the messages that we have, and we had a whole episode on cancel culture previously. I think one of the messages that we had was the fact that we want to try to be slow to cancel as much as possible, because we are dealing with people's livelihoods. And, I'm not saying that Cuties needs to be canceled or doesn't need to be canceled. I actually haven't seen the movie. So I can't really speak to it.
I would suggest in your line of work, you shouldn't have that in your viewer history.
Yes. And that's actually one of the reasons, because, sometimes, especially with specific vocations, we're guilty before proven innocent, I guess. Sure. Unfortunately, and I don't want to get myself canceled. So I don't want to, put myself in that kind of situation. That's why I've kind of stayed quiet while you guys were talking.
You're not alone. You're actually not alone. I think that's one of the biggest reasons, because every time people are commenting, they're saying, where's the Obamas? Because they're on the board, like they have deals with Netflix. Where's Meghan Markle? Where's Prince Harry? They're working with Netflix. How come nobody's speaking about this? Where's all the Me Too movement? Where's Alyssa Milano? Where's everyone who's for for women's rights,
guy.
basically.
And the little guy fighting for the little guy.
Not one person is speaking, and I know exactly why. Because I could speak about this stuff because I'm a nobody, so I don't have a career to ruin. But everybody's afraid of the big boss man, and that's what Netflix is. Netflix has turned into another Disney, basically. You can't speak bad against the boss. And it's unfortunate because everyone's literally
interesting.
It's like, and also, even if you don't work for them, one day you want to be a part of it. I do. I'm an artist. I'm an actor. I do definitely would love to be. There's so many movies and shows on Netflix I wish I would kill to be a part of.
Right.
But, I mean, at what cost? It's like I can't sell my soul for something that I want so bad, because it's like, when does it stop? These kids are 11 years old. It's like, holy shit. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Right.
So close.
We try to avoid the F-bombs as long as they're not.
Okay.
We don't get too raunchy and stuff. We're trying to keep it PG-13 here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But you're right with the cancel culture. I'm sorry to drop it again, but I'm not for the cancel culture. I'm sorry. Do you have to take a break or something? What happened?
No. Someone commented. So I popped a comment up on screen. Someone said Netflix and Disney both owned by the elites, and it's backing up your point that
definitely,
big boss men with all the money that are going to possibly employ some of these people one day, or currently are.
Absolutely
keeping their mouth shut. I'm sorry, Adam. Go ahead with what you were saying.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I'm rambling here, but I'm just so passionate about this subject because I see what you're saying when it comes to the cancel culture. I'm not for the cancel culture. I'm not for censorship. I mean, the John Wick series is one of my favorite series ever, and it's the most violent thing you'll ever see in your life. I'm actually one of the few people. I'm one of the few people who's arguing against this movie that's actually a fan of that show Big Mouth that's on Netflix, the one with the Nick Kroll animated movie. They're trying to say
Big Mouth is awesome because it kind of shows in a funny way, in a comedic way, of what teens are going through in their own right, as far as man-woman relationships and how confused they actually are. I actually reference that show sometimes when I'm talking to my staff at school because I love it, because I teach middle school. Those are my kids.
Oh yeah, and they actually act like, I love it so much because they very accurately. I'm watching these episodes like that's exactly what I used to think at that age doing that stuff. Like they do it so beautifully, but they are consenting adults lending voices to animated characters.
Right.
So, I'm not for censorship for censorship's sake. I'm not for canceling anyone. I want this director of Cuties to still have a full career, but just admit when you're wrong. Admit when you tried something. The whole public is telling you messed up and you missed the mark. Just to own it and be like, all right, I'm sorry. I'm back to the drawing board. Maybe I'll chop out a couple scenes and again get my point across. Where's the accountability?
Right.
Simeon wrote us a book.
I love that though.
So we got a comment coming in from the fans here. So not defending one side or the other. I'm not about cancel culture, which we all agree is extreme these days. And I'm sorry cutting JC. Thanks, Sim. You cut off JC and Adam's faces. But the dance community and children have had these things going on forever, especially younger kids in competition. The movie's just showing something that has been going on and continues to go on. Yes, it is showing that. And like I think Adam had pointed out, Dance Moms and a few other things that were really
That's a common defense when they bring up those shows, and to argue that that's one of the reasons why I got rid of cable. I mean, there's many reasons why I got rid of cable. The whole like, oh, we'll be there from 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, sometime in the week of November. That's one of the reasons I got rid of cable, but also because of things I never heard of. Dance Moms. I'll be honest, Dance Moms and Toddlers and Tiaras wasn't on my radar. So when people are saying, "What about this?" and they're sending me clips, I'm like, this is all new to me. And yeah, I oppose this too. This is awful.
Yeah, really.
This is brand new. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of it 10 years ago because I got rid of
It's funny because sometimes people are not making the point that they want to make when they're sending you stuff. It's like, yeah, I don't like that either.
Right. Exactly. And it's like I got Netflix, so I didn't have to worry about Cablevision, and now I have to worry about, because my whole family used my Netflix. All right. Now I got rid of it. I could own up. I wasn't the only one. So canceling my account got like 30 people worth of clicks off the account. And half of them were my nieces and nephews. And now I have to worry about this stuff being in rotation. And I'm like, this was supposed to be my safe space. You know, it's just
Uncle Adam's Christmas gifts are going to be horrible this year.
Now, through your research, have you come across anything about like teen or children beauty pageants and how that connects to this movie or anything like that?
Absolutely. And they're all awful, obviously, and they all should not, because most of these kids that are put into these beauty pageants, they don't want to be there. They're there living out the failed dreams of their parents, who just like decorate them and show them and be like, you need to live my life because I wasn't able to because of you. And it's sad, but that's what they do, and it's disgusting. And people bring up often, actually, JonBenet Ramsey, and said that that's probably one of the things that got her murdered, was the fact that people looked at her like, oh, she's a grown woman, and the pedophiles are like, she's sexy, and then you get kidnapped, then what? Yeah.
So Dee commented she finally fixed her Facebook user to giving her permission from Facebook to put her name up here. So the whataboutism is so damn strong I can't. And it is. And that seems to be a common theme in every part of every debate these days, is people finding a reason why you can validate something with something else. Oh, but Trump did this, but what about Clinton? Or Clinton did this, what about Trump? Or instead of looking at
37
is it great?
Political.
What do you?
47 minutes to get political.
No, I'm not taking it down the political road. I'm using it as an example, JC. Why? You want to go political? We have another 27 minutes.
No, I'm good.
It's deflecting. It's straight up deflecting. It's like, did you see that famous meme that went around and went viral? It was like, you could just post, "Gee, I like oranges," and then people are like, "Well, what about apricots? You didn't even mention apples. That means you're
you must
awful."
hate bananas."
Yeah. Exactly. That's the internet for you.
Yeah. Well, I think we did some damage here with this topic. I do want to discuss, since we have you on, and we are discussing streaming platforms, and we're all big movie fans, all four of us, big theater goers.
In good company. Nice.
Yeah, we're all big fans of the theater experience. And I wanted to get your opinion and your thoughts on where we're going, how its current state is, because I know we all went and saw Tenet in the theater. Nice. It was a very different experience, sitting there with eating my popcorn every 2 seconds, pulling my mask up.
That's because we only had 2 seconds of eating the popcorn, because Jonesy knocked it all over.
He did.
Listen. We were 3/4 of the way through this humongous popcorn. 3/4, at least 3/4.
No.
It was about halfway. Halfway.
Jonesy, you're that guy. Huh? Every time I leave a theater, I see a big bucket of popcorn spilled over. You're that guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta give Nolan credit, because Jonesy couldn't take his eyes off the screen, so he tried to blindly get the popcorn off of my
I was doing one of these.
He was doing the no look.
The no look. And again, I missed.
JC
That's a huge compliment to Nolan. Huge compliment.
Yeah. He literally couldn't look away, but he definitely wanted some popcorn too. And JC, about 3/4 of the way through the movie, goes, "Let me get some more popcorn." And I'm like, Jonesy spilled it. He's like, of course he did.
You know, if you just pick off the top from the floor, you're good. Just don't hit the floor.
Yeah, really.
You know?
No, so wait, we got the large tub of popcorn, so you get free refills. And this guy when he go get the refill.
Oh, you don't
After
miss
you
anything.
spill popcorn.
Hold on. You're gonna leave the movie Tenet, which if you miss one word of that movie, you're confused for the next 25 minutes.
It's a movie about going back and forth in time. They probably would have replayed it for you.
That's judging if you even heard one word of the movie. I'm sorry, but Nolan loves to just dial back the dialogue and blast you with score. I don't understand why he does
He's
that.
inside of the wind turbine would have been a perfect time for you to go get popcorn. All he was doing was pull-ups.
All right.
You're right. Well, who doesn't want to see that? Come on, John David's in great shape.
That movie was a masterpiece, and I can't wait to go see it again.
Absolutely.
We can
Me
talk
too.
about this so much more because I still don't understand like how they were going back and forth in time. Like there was no technology for it to like go back and forth.
This is when I like to use the line they use in the movie, an actual line of the movie when they say, "Don't try to understand it, just feel it."
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I actually said to Jonesy that I can't wait for it to become available on demand or home viewing because I want to watch it with freaking subtitles. I want to be able to read through the movie that I missed the dialogue so I can connect some of the dots because, like you said in your review that we played for everybody, 40 minutes in, I was like, what the hell is going on here? And
I'm just happy I wasn't the only one. I was talking to people at the end of the movie, and I was like, when they said, I couldn't even understand a word they're saying. I was like, oh, thank God. I thought I was an idiot. I'm looking at my friends like, what the hell is happening?
I need subtitles for. I mean, I'm probably going to watch that movie probably good for another 5 times in the next year.
Yeah, I ended up getting a really terrible 540p version, cam version on
What's your address also right now? Just so the government knows what you're doing on the time.
But it was awful. I couldn't see anything, but it allowed me to put on the subtitles.
Oh, did it?
No. I did.
So you're reading while you hear.
I did. Yeah, I was able to say it.
And then anytime something flashes on the screen, it goes like this. It's like a big bright. Whenever you have those cams, it like completely blocks the screen out for like 20 seconds.
There was actually somebody who kind of got up and just went across the screen like this.
That was my favorite.
Somebody go get more popcorn.
Yeah, because he spilled it.
Wait. No, we're not going to talk too much. I know you guys want to talk about other things, but like the whole tripwire at the end, I still don't get how that happened.
Spoiler alert.
I just said a tripwire. That's all I said. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah. I do want to. Okay, so we couldn't avoid that. Four movie heads sitting in a room, and we said the word Tenet, and there was no way we were avoiding the discussion part of it.
I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner.
But I do want to say the theater experience is what we did. We obviously COVID. Some of us were more cautious than others. I was very, very cautious. I've kind of backed off a little bit in trying to live my life, but still being cautious while doing so because we know a little bit more about transmission and hand sanitizing and masks, and people feel more comfortable. I feel more comfortable. But when we went, there was a seat between every seat. So I bought 4 tickets, and that way when the 3 of us sat together, we had like 2 or 3 seats on each side of us.
Same.
We created our own little bubble. Do you think that this is going to hurt? Obviously, it's going to hurt box office sales. Movie releases have been pushed back. Are they going to continue to be pushed back because they want to get that box office number? Is there any way that some of these places, if it stays this long, are going to change the layouts of the seating? Are they going to move things around instead of just having wasted seats? What do you think, Adam?
There's just so much speculation going on right now, and it's to tell you the truth, with 6 months of no movie theaters, people say, will they release their movies and get like a lack of box office returns? I always say a lack of box office returns is better than no box office returns, because it doesn't matter how much how many movies you put on the streaming services. It doesn't matter how big your movie is on a streaming service. You're not making box office money, because you go to the box office, you go like with your family. It's how much money is it each ticket?
Oh, it's $100 to walk in the freaking door and get 1 popcorn.
Exactly. You can't replicate that with streamers. I don't care what they say. And there's a lot of people that just won't have it. I'm not willing to sacrifice watching James Bond for the first time on on my TV. It's just not going to happen.
Well,
I want it on the big screen. So I don't think movie theaters are going to die.
What did you say, JC?
It's
JC, I
really
didn't hear
about the type of movie that's going to come out, though. Like,
Yeah.
if it's like a James Bond, an Avengers, Marvel, DC, Tenet, I'm going to want the biggest screen possible. But if it's something like, I don't know, like if like Moonlight or something like that, like I probably would have just watched it on my TV.
Right.
And so like it's really all depends on the sizing of the movie.
You're right.
So
I think that you're right. I think it's not the movie theater and the movie theater experience that's going to change. It's going to be what kind of movies we get is going to change. It's not. They're not going to. Major studios or even the smaller studios aren't going to gamble as much on these giant, big budget movies anymore. We're going to get more small. We're going to get smaller, more intimate movies, which actually might just be a good thing because a lot of times the mid budget movie like The Town or something like that is something that's far more compelling than another $200 million Garfield movie. So it's like we're going to get the movie theater experience is not going to die. I don't care what anyone says. They will find a way to, like, just like the drive-in movie theater didn't die. And we didn't realize that until this happened. Drive-ins were still around. They were still making money, just enough money to survive, but they were still there. So we might not have an abundance where I could walk down the street and have 3 AMCs I could pick from, but I don't think the movie theater is going to completely die. They'll do whatever they can to save it.
You know what's killing me, and I'm sure it's killing all of you guys too, is I know Adam does this. I know me and Jonesy have done this. I'm sure JC does too. But JC lives on the West Coast for those of you guys that don't know that. So it's very hard for us to go see movies together. But is the selection is not there anymore for the theater. You're going to see the one movie, and then you're not going to see another release for 6 weeks that you want to see again. So
feels like the 90s again.
Yeah, it's very frustrating because with the kids, I would go once a week with the kids and once a week with Jonesy or other buddies or my brother. And now it's one film I want to see every 6 to 8 weeks, it looks like, is the release schedule. I think the next movie that I'm really definitely going to see in the theater is Black Widow. And that's like November.
100%. Yeah. And they better stick to the theater. She deserves better than a streamer. They better stick to the theater with her.
Oh, she's a great character, and they did a great job with the trailer so far. It looks like they did a great job with the movie. I mean,
most Marvels are home runs because they do such a great job with it.
Yeah, they got a well-oiled machine. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I think the return of
Jonesy, you got to let JC talk sometimes, buddy.
Oh, my bad.
No. I was just gonna say, but I think they can't go really wrong with that movie in particular because the budget wasn't that large. And so they'll recoup their sales, whether they're streaming or if they are in the theaters, like right away. But knowing Marvel, they'll probably release it like both ways. They'll probably have like a digital exclusive on Disney Plus for $30, or you're going to spend $15 to go to the movie theater.
I would see it being on a delay. I think they're going to do a box office release and then a probably 4 to 6 weeks after they'll start talking about popping it out on Disney Plus
Universal just made a deal with the streamers saying that they closed the window from 90 days to basically 3 weeks. So I can see other studios following suit, being like, instead of waiting 90 days for digital and DVD, you got 3 weeks because we're in an unprecedented situation. So you have 3 weeks to push it. If not, I'm going right to the streamers to make my money.
So
I mean, I think going back to I think one of the things that's going to be really cool about that is going back to storytelling, because I know that in the past few years, and that's one of the things that you said in your Tenet review and trailer was that one of the things that makes Tenet so nice is that it's totally an original story, that is mind-blowing.
And so we're lacking those.
So, and a lot of the storytelling for that we're seeing right now is a lot of remakes and a lot of the same story over and over and over again. So having something different was just, whether it was great or whether you thought it was great or whether you didn't think it was great, I just thought it was totally refreshing.
Yeah, if anyone is in any kind of danger, it's the big budget movies, because the smaller, more indie type films that's what's going to really be seen for the foreseeable future until this clears up.
JC, you go.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I completely agree with you that like these smaller movies are going to get more of an opportunity. Because if you're like, all right, hey, I can give you $100,000 to shoot this entire film, or I can give a theater like Disney, like I don't know, what did they give John Connor, like $180 million to
Wait, you mean
flop?
John Carter?
John Carter, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
John
that was
Carter.
close to 250. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I actually liked that movie.
Me too, but for 250 million, come on.
Yeah, probably could have cut some corners there.
Just a little bit. Just
I mean,
Slow
but
it.
this, I mean, it's, I mean that the house that the mouse built, like they have tons of money because they've also did Pluto Nash, which was another big flop, and we like I love going to like a Wikipedia and seeing biggest flops of all time, and it's just like
and that's up there. That's like the biggest. Yeah.
It's up there.
Robot Chicken makes fun of them all the time. I love it. It's always going to like the studio execs all like committing suicide, the Pluto Nash massacre or whatever year it came out. It's really funny.
Yeah.
So, and what else did I want to get to with this with Adam? You guys have any other questions? Because I had like a few other piggyback questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jump on.
So we talked about the theater experience changing but not going away, and the types of movies. Streaming services are popping up left and right here. Cable is pretty much going the route of Blockbuster at this point. It was a necessity that is now becoming a archaic thought. What do you think about all this and the way that tech has changed the industry? You think it's for the better? You think it's for the worse? Do you think it gives people more opportunities? Do you think it's
100%. There's pros and cons to all of it. It's I guess more philosophical cons in my mind. Like the more streamers and the more shows we have, the less life we're all going to live. It's kind of like that social dilemma situation where if you're stuck in your house binging your favorite shows for 12 hours a day, it's like how much of outside are you actually enjoying?
Who needs
that's on a whole different level. But the streamers though, people are creatures of habit. That's why this cancel Netflix thing is not going to work. And I know it's not going to work. I'm standing strongly against it to show that I have conviction in my beliefs. And I do not expect anyone else to follow suit because Netflix is the biggest streaming platform and the most comfortable. I have never been more upset than trying to navigate things like HBO Max, which I love, but it's an awful app. Hulu, the buffering, how long it takes, how I have to get out of it and get back in. Netflix is seamless and it's beautiful. So I understand. That's why I'm so upset with this whole situation. It was my favorite. But so when it comes to things like Quibi, you guys hear about Quibi?
Oh, yeah.
I tried it. And it was not. I did not enjoy it at all because I couldn't put it on a screen. I couldn't.
Exactly.
I had to have it on my phone, which was their intention. But I think they were trying to play to the mobile people. Maybe someone waiting for a subway. But if you think about it, a lot of people say to themselves, "I'll wait till I get home to watch that because that's big screen level stuff." Just like you were saying about the theater experience, certain movies have to be done in the theater. And I think Quibi fell short because they wanted quick, short little bursts, but people don't really want that blockbuster level entertainment. They have YouTube for quick, short bursts.
Exactly.
They have social media for quick, short bursts. They're not trying to watch Chris Hemsworth? No, Liam Hemsworth was
Liam. Yeah.
It was Liam Hemsworth.
Liam.
I want to see him in a lead role in a crazy heist.
Yeah, with Christoph Waltz too. Or you think you're getting top-notch talent for this stuff. But
I
just
don't
like
want
you
to
said,
watch.
nobody wants to watch an Academy Award contender in 10-minute spurts on their phone. So these platforms, there are millions of them are going to keep coming up. They're going to keep coming up, but people are going to keep being like, okay, well, I'm sure it's fine, but I got my Netflix. I'm good,
Yeah.
I mean,
like
it really
Peacock.
it's all about our attention span though, because we don't want to spend as much time watching shows, and we just kind of really want to get to the point. Like there was a lot of shows on Quibi that I was just like, oh man, that looks awesome, that looks awesome, that looks awesome, and I was just like, I don't have the time to watch a 10-minute. I don't have, my day's not broken up into like 10-minute blocks that I can access that content. So like if I'm not gonna I'd rather just watch like an hour of a show and then just kind of like do it. And the other thing is, I look forward to commercial breaks also, just so I can like go run to the bathroom, I can run and get something to eat or something like that. So Quibi started out so promising. They offered 30 days for people to try it, and then like a month after the trial was over, they lost 90% of their those free users.
It's just what they just missed the mark on what people really want. JC, let me ask you a question. With Quibi, is it one of those situations where if you wanted to, you could watch in 10-minute spurts, you could watch the whole thing at once, or was it like 10 minutes now, and the next week it'll be the next 10 minutes, and was it?
So I don't have Quibi. So Joe has Quibi.
Sorry.
It was, I think initially they blasted you with a few of the episodes, and then they were going to have more later. So that was kind of. I didn't really like that. I may be wrong, but that's how I thought. I signed up the first couple of days, and I have to cancel it because I'm still paying for like the $7.99 a month or something. I just got an email the other day. It was like new on Quibi. I'm like, I'm still paying for that.
Yeah.
Now, like I'm a big fan of, like I said before, Robot Chicken. And Robot Chicken is known for its 15-minute episodes on TV. So when you get on DVD, it's like 7 or 8 minutes of the episodes, but it's little spurts of really funny things, and it's for people with ADHD and for stoners that just want a quick laugh or whatever. I'm not going to watch those 7-minute episodes when it's a part of one overarching story. It's not going to grab my attention like that. That's not how you watch things.
So you think we're going to see a lot more experimental things?
Absolutely, because these are all people sitting in a room and like, how can we? Because the kids, it's like what South Park did on that episode where Kyle was mad because Ike just watches the guy in the corner playing the video game and instead of playing it himself. And so these kids, they're looking at this new generation. They like things that we don't understand. How can we reach those kids? And they're going to keep trying to reach those kids, and they're going to keep failing, in my opinion.
I mean, this is why Instagram stories or stories on all platforms are so successful, because every single time the image changes,
yes,
it's another conversion, and so more conversion means you can charge more for advertising. So it's all a game. We're playing. We're playing checkers, but like the advertisers are playing chess now.
Yeah. True.
Did you see Instagram? Speaking of Instagram, did you see the new Reels that just came out?
Is it to combat TikTok?
It is. Yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly TikTok. It's exactly TikTok, but they call it Reels.
Yeah. No.
Well, that's
No
what
thanks.
Facebook does. Facebook, who owns Instagram, because they bought Instagram, they couldn't beat them, so they bought them. That's Facebook takes over and steals everybody's ideas. Zoom was really popular, so they tried to make Facebook Rooms so that you could do that. As soon as something becomes popular, the Facebook giants, Zuckerberg and his team, are like, "How can we make this our own?" And put everyone else out of business.
They just code it. They just code it right into Facebook, and they just do it didn't take off, but there's also Facebook payments and there's Facebook everything. Mm-hmm. Anything that has to do with tech, Facebook has also.
Venmo became big, and they were like, "We got to do that."
Yep.
I don't know if anybody has ever watched Parks and Recreation, but I'm a big fan of that. Yeah. So at the last season, the farewell season, when they jump into the future, what happens to these people? Their fake commercials always made me laugh because we're basically on our way there when it comes to Disney, Netflix, Facebook. They have a commercial of like a guy eating a taco while pumping his gas, and so it's kind of like a mobile Taco Bell, Lexicon, whatever, proud to be one of America's 6 companies. And then it goes to the next commercial. And that's how pretty much what I feel we're going to be now, because that's why I think nobody's speaking up against cuties and everyone's tiptoeing, because there's one company that runs everything. It's either Disney and their umbrella, or Netflix and their umbrella, or Facebook and their umbrella. And it's like, I kind of thought monopolies were outlawed. I didn't know
you forgot about Apple and Google, but I think with Apple and Google thrown in there, we've covered all the bases.
As I'm speaking into my Apple phone. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, on our Facebook platform, sending this out to the Facebook platform.
Yeah.
Facebook, don't cancel us, please. We're sorry.
That's one thing I said when the social dilemma came out. It was one of the things I said was, I'm very aware of my hypocrisy, where I'm trying to capitalize on the very thing that I speak against. It's a conundrum.
It's a conundrum.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, we said it at the same time. You owe me jinx.
Yeah, well, give you a high five.
I think we're gonna wrap it up because we do our shows. But Adam, we really appreciate you coming on. We
really appreciate you guys having me.
Thanks, Adam. It was great.
Yeah, that was good insight, and I'd love to have you back on. Maybe we'll have you back when we want to discuss the new releases and the new theater experience, and we can pop on your review and let people see your reviews that maybe aren't seeing them on YouTube. I know you just started the YouTube version of your reviews. Yeah. So you're fresh and new. So maybe when Black Widow comes out, we'll have you come back and chat about that.
I was actually, when I was waiting in the green room and you guys were talking about the Jets, I was like, thank God I'm not on right now, because sports is not my thing. So if you're ever talking about movies or about shows and stuff again, please feel free. I'd love to.
How are the Jets not your thing? You love watching
football.
Oh yeah, but you like love fiction though, so the judges.
On-screen you could JC, you could have just said you love on-screen disasters. It would have been
Well
way better.
played. Well played.
Oh
The
no,
Jets,
no,
directed by Roland Emmerich.
The
Jets season.
Jets are definitely a car accident that you can't turn away from.
Oh, fantastic.
I know, I've been doing it for like 28 years.
Give me credit, man.
All right, folks.
Boss.
What was that?
Take us home, boss.
All right. So as we said before, guys, make sure you check us out on all of our social media, Twitter at the TMI Podcast, which we got to get better at Twitter, guys. We got to get better at Twitter. Twitter's where the
It's a black hole of toxicity, man. Be careful there.
Oh, it's dangerous out there. Linktree, linktr.ee/the TMI Podcast. That has pretty much all the links you need. It's got Spotify, it's got iTunes, it's got our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So that's really the spot to go check us out. As we said before, we are live every Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But next week, we are discussing doing a post-game debate coverage. Because no one's going to watch us at our 9 o'clock. No one's watching us live at 9 o'clock next Tuesday. It is not going to happen.
Let's see TV is Trump versus Biden.
Yeah, the entire country is going to be watching that on-screen disaster, directed by whatever dangerous, horrible. That's a Michael Bay movie.
Michael Bay, definitely Michael Bay movie.
That's a Michael Bay. There's going to be a lot of explosions, a lot of what, and
hopefully no 11-year-old twerking.
I need subtitles next week.
What's that, JC?
I need subtitles next week.
Yeah, definitely going to need subtitles. But yeah, next week we've discussed, and we are most likely, I would say, we're 100% sure we're going to do the post-debate show instead of.
Yeah, buddy.
Because we're going to lose all our viewers to the 9 o'clock time slot.
Yeah, definitely. So
definitely.
It's next week at 10:30.
10:30, we're going to log on, and we're inviting folks to comment and join the discussion in a way we haven't done before. I think we're going to try to let you guys pop in like Adam did today, if you want, and if we feel the need, and if we feel you bring good content to the comments, we'll offer up a private message to join us here. We'll probably have a revolving door of people commenting for about an hour, maybe a little more. Depends on how much fun they give us on screen.
Yes, it'll be one of our. I mean, we try to stay away from politics, but we don't shy away from it.
Do we?
No, we don't. That's a lie.
This is the only episode where there was no politics. But the memes, we are all really looking forward to the memes that will follow that debate. So make sure you check us out, guys. Donate to our Patreon if you can, patreon.com/the TMI Podcast. And if you want to put money in our Pantheon account, get in touch with JC. He has the login for that from before. Like I said before, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all those major podcast platforms. And that will end our show. Thank you, JC. Thank you, Jonesy. For always, yeah.
Wait, where do we find you, Adam?
Oh, shit.
Oh,
that's a good.
How kind. I didn't even think of that. Go No Go Movie Reviews. On Instagram, it's Go No Go Movie Reviews. On Facebook, it's just my name. I don't know how you do fan pages and stuff. I'm not there yet. But on YouTube, it's Go No Go Movie Reviews. So if you just go to Go No Go Movie Reviews, you'll find me anywhere.
And it's no go is one word, correct?
Go No Go on YouTube. It's go and then no go is one word. So it's Go No Go Movie Reviews. But if you just put it in, it pops up in the search bar. So just look for my insignia with my hat on. That's me.
All right.
Teamwork,
Awesome.
JC. That's why we work together.
We can unpause now. That's Joe. I'm JC.
Jonesy up here.
And I'm Joe.
There we go.
Thanks to Adam once again.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you guys next time.